Lesson 3, Unit 4. The Portfolio Manager. This unit will present the roles, responsibilities, and competencies required from a portfolio manager. The portfolio manager has different roles and responsibilities and requires different competencies than those of a program or project manager. In this role, the portfolio manager needs to focus continually on strategic alignment. The communications requirements are more varied, and the need for stakeholder engagement is more prevalent. Additionally, the portfolio manager must have the ability to demonstrate the benefits of portfolio management not only to the executives but to everyone throughout the organization, helping them understand the strategic and tactical aspects of portfolio management. The role of the portfolio manager is a critical role for any organization that manages many programs and projects and needs to have a structured approach to ensure all projects contribute to the long-term development goals and that all resources are used efficiently. The portfolio manager is usually a senior manager in the organization and in some cases manages a team of staff that support most of the functions in managing a portfolio. The portfolio manager has the responsibility to establish, implement, and monitor the portfolio. While the focus on program and project managers is to do the work right, the portfolio manager focuses on ensuring the organization is doing the right work. The most common roles of a portfolio manager are Integrator, Coordinator, and Communicator. In the role of Integrator, the portfolio manager facilitates the process to ensure all portfolio components are aligned with the organizational strategy. The portfolio manager facilitates the use of the selection criteria and approval of new projects and realigns portfolio components to do changes in the strategy. The value of this role is to ensure that all programs and projects are managed holistically and are delivering the expected benefits. As coordinator, the portfolio manager works with internal and external stakeholders to maximize the use of organizational resources by coordinating the resource requirements from all projects and programs, balancing the portfolio whenever there are changes in the portfolio components, and negotiating the changes in the prioritization of the portfolio components. A critical role of the portfolio manager is to communicate the performance of the portfolio components. This includes analysis and delivery of reports with recommendations. Communicating these results to key internal and even external stakeholders is critical to help them understand the progress of the portfolio in achieving the expected goals. Communication includes the actions to help understand, negotiate, and resolve conflicts. It is an important role when there is a need for changes in the portfolio and the support of key stakeholders is required to implement the recommended modifications. The responsibilities of the portfolio manager are aligned with the domain areas of portfolio management. These responsibilities are aligning with the strategy, maximizing the value of resource utilization, balancing the portfolio, engaging stakeholders, managing portfolio risk, and value assessment of the portfolio. The portfolio manager's main responsibility is to support and facilitate the process to align all programs and projects with the organization's strategy. This includes the analysis of project proposals and recommendations to modify their objectives to ensure they are aligned with the strategy. All programs and projects that are included in the portfolio must be aligned with the strategy. The portfolio manager enforces compliance with procedures, policy, and quality standards. The portfolio manager also participates actively in the go-no-go decisions to approve new projects and participates in organizational planning and strategic meetings. In this responsibility, the portfolio manager determines the organization's resource capacity to assist with the selection and prioritization of portfolio components, analysis of the current versus demand capacity to ensure that our organizational resources are properly allocated. The goal is to make sure the resources are fully allocated to achieve maximum output. Whenever there are changes in the portfolio components, the portfolio manager re-evaluates the resource allocation, changing the priorities, and recommending changes to maximize the utilization of resources. The portfolio manager plays a key role in project prioritization, making sure there is a balance of components and that they all align with strategic goals. This analysis ensures that the portfolio has the right balance and mix of projects. The portfolio's balance in dimensions can range from risk levels, time to completion, and strategic objectives. As changes occur from new portfolio components or changes in the organizational strategy, the portfolio manager is responsible to analyze the impact of the changes in the portfolio and recommend actions to balance it. Stakeholder engagement is a responsibility that supports an organization in achieving its strategic objectives by creating positive relationships with stakeholders by managing their expectations and agreed objectives. Here, the portfolio manager's responsibility is on providing key stakeholders with timely assessment of the portfolio's performance, as well as early identification of portfolio-level issues impacting performance. The portfolio manager engages with effective communications with project sponsors, the project managers, functional and resource managers, and other stakeholders. The portfolio manager has a responsibility to identify, assess, and prioritize all risks that may have a negative effect on the portfolio objectives. The responsibility includes the identification and implementation of actions to minimize, monitor, and control the probability or impact of negative events. Risk could be internal or external to the organization and may include budget constraints, changes in the economic, political, or social environment that will have an impact on some or all components of the portfolio. In this responsibility, the portfolio manager is in charge of measuring the value of the portfolio to the organization, monitoring portfolio targets, and the benefits the portfolio components are delivering. The portfolio manager evaluates the overall performance of the portfolio and provides recommendations to the executive team on changes related to prioritization, allocation of resources, and mix of components. Additionally, provides recommendations, actions to manage risk, and projects that are in problems. The goal is to ensure that all components of the portfolio are delivering value to the organization. In order for the portfolio manager to perform the assigned roles and responsibilities, there are specific skills and competencies that are required. The portfolio manager must have the ability to communicate at all levels of the organization, from executive to project teams. The ability to build relationships with key stakeholders with the objective of building and sustaining their support to the portfolio. And the ability to make sound decisions by analyzing portfolio data, interpreting results, making forecasts, and recommending changes that will improve the performance of the portfolio. The portfolio manager also needs to develop a full understanding of the organization's strategic goals and directions, including an understanding of the external environment and trends in donor funding and local government development priorities. Additional competencies include the skills to manage conflicts, especially when dealing with conflicts caused by prioritization of projects and resource allocation. The portfolio manager should have interpersonal skills in facilitation to help during the selection and approval of projects and solving problems. The portfolio manager should have the skills to understand the interrelationship and interdependencies of the different components of the portfolio. Finally, systems thinking, the skill to perform problem solving in complex systems, which provides a holistic view of the portfolio as a system and not just the sum of its components. This is important in order to analyze the performance of the portfolio and maximize the investments of the organization. The portfolio manager is becoming a critical role in development organizations, especially those that have a significant number of projects and want to maximize their opportunities to achieve their strategic objectives. To optimize the realization of benefits, the portfolio manager must have a good understanding of the organization's vision, mission, and strategy to aid in the optimization of the portfolio. The portfolio manager must understand how to relate the strategic goals and objectives with the portfolio component plans to achieve the organizational goals.